Hi y'all, welcome to TJ Trinity Studios, where we're always plugged into the matrix of entertainment. It's Urban Legend Day, and I have 6 urban legends for you. But you know what? They're not gonna be scary tonight. They're gonna be funny. Well, sort of funny. Alright, we're gonna go with video games because we've been gaming a lot lately. I'm going to talk about this one game. It's, the urban legend is called Kill Switch, and it's a game that you can play, but if your character dies, or you complete the game, it disappears and you could not play it ever again. There's no trace. So, that's pretty crazy, huh? Especially if you paid for it. I'd be like, hold up, wait a minute, I paid for this. I should be able to play this game as many times as I want. Because I die a lot. So I'd be PO'd. Alright. The second one we have today is Polybius.
Polybius?
Yeah, Polybius. Which is also known as a Greek thing, but is it Greek or is it Roman?
Greek.
Yeah. He is a Greek, but this is actually the game, the arcade game. It is supposedly supposed to cause, while you're playing it, is the CIA is tracking the data from your mind while you play it, and it causes you to have amnesia, psychotic episodes, and it causes people to commit suicide. A lot of people have went to arcades trying to find this game. There's no such thing. It's never been made of or even thought of. So where the legend came from, nobody knows. But I say if you find it and you play it, be warned and be careful playing that game.
And record it. I want to see what happens.
Yeah. Like, especially with Kill Switch, if you find that game, it's supposed to be a fictional game, based off of a fictional game, so, I don't know. Now we're gonna go to the sewers. Not for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but for alligators. Supposedly, a lot of pet owners didn't like their pet alligators, so they flushed them down the toilet, and they grew into these mutant, huge alligators that come up out of the sewers and attack people. Now, the only thing that I could think of that ever would come up in a toilet, and I don't really want to say this because it's happened before to people, a snake can come up in that toilet.
I've seen pictures of it. It's pretty creepy.
I'm not looking at any pictures of it, and I'm probably going to have nightmares about it just for even mentioning it tonight. And I'm probably going to, open up the toilet seat really slow.
Oh, after seeing those pictures, I wouldn't sit on a toilet for a week. I'd be like, nope, I'll stand, thank you.
But see, the legend of the alligator in the sewer, I don't understand how you can flush an alligator down a toilet. I mean, I understand, okay, a fish dies, you flush it down the toilet. But
I mean, you might be able to flush a baby alligator. If it's, really little, but those things come out of their egg, 5 inches long.
Yeah, but
and, 3 inches wide.
Why would you even want to flush your baby alligator? If you wanted a baby alligator from the pet store, you should have took care of it.
Plus, baby alligators are adorable.
I know, right? Why?
And then they get big and grumpy, and then they're even more adorable because they're grumpy versions of their little self.
I never understood that urban legend at all, honestly. Okay, so we're gonna go to, jealousy is a very bad thing, and a wife came, a wife, she bought a Corvette for her husband. Well, while her husband was at work, he thought that she was having an affair while he was working hard. So he got a cement truck This is the legend of the concrete Corvette. Now, it's told both ways. It could be this way that I'm explaining now, or it can be vice versa. The way I'm saying it right now is the husband thinks the wife is having an affair, so he gets sees the Corvette, and he gets all mad and jealous rage. He goes and gets a cement truck, and he fills the convertible Corvette with cement, and goes back to work. And when he comes home, his wife is frantic, has the police there, and it was actually a birthday present for him. So just goes to show you shouldn't jump to conclusions very fast. So, and then the other one is the wife thinks the husband is having an affair, and she puts the concrete in it, and it's really a birthday gift for her. So that's the one with the Corvette. I mean, knowing my jealousy, I wouldn't have put concrete and ruined a perfectly good car, because I'm all for the cars. I mean, cars are pretty little things. Anyway, if I had seen that, I would have went inside my house and ripped my husband out of that bed. And then felt like a fool because there was nobody there, and it was actually a birthday gift. So you need to get both sides of your stories and not, boom, just jump the gun and go to, I need revenge right away until you get the whole story. This is the moral behind that urban legend. And then I'm going to throw in a couple of bonus legends here. Okay, so this one has been an urban legend forever and ever, and it's been in movies, it's been in TV shows. Heck, you could even say it's the I Know What You Did Last Summer killer thing. It's the legend of the Hook Man. Supposedly, now, this legend started because teenagers, of course, going up to Lover's Lane, making out, doing the things that they shouldn't be doing that parents didn't want them to do. And parents started this legend by saying somebody escaped from a mental institution with a hook hand. And while they're making out and everything, she hears scratching on the car and everything. And the boyfriend goes out and looks, and he's looking around and he doesn't come back, and she gets scared and she stays in the car all night. Why? I don't know. I would have turned that car on and left. But she hears scraping on the hood of the car and wakes up in the morning, and her boyfriend's hanging from the tree that they were parked under, and his fingernails were scraping the top of the roof. And blood was dripping down on the roof because the hook man had killed it. Now, there's also another one where the teenagers are on Lover's Lane and they're making out and everything, and she keeps hearing noises, and then they're listening to the radio, and it comes on saying an escaped person from a mental institution or prison that has a hook has escaped, and he's in the area. She freaks out because she doesn't really want to go to home run it, as they say. And she doesn't want to actually do it, so she freaks out. He gets mad at her, and he's like, okay, fine. They take her home, and he gets out to walk her to the car and sees a hook hanging on the handle of the car. Now, granted, this is probably the parents that have said that to scare the kids, because there's always a Lover's Lane in pretty much every state, or lover's spot, lookout type of thing. So that's the reason why that urban legend came to life. So there's also, did you know that cow tipping is actually an urban legend? Okay, So this one is a stereotype one for hicks and rednecks and stuff like that, is what it said on there that I read. And supposedly you go up to a cow that's standing and sleeping, and you get down, and it was in the movie Tommy Boy. They did the cow tipping, and of course he couldn't tip him, and he fell face first in cow poo and mud and was covered in it, which us country people are supposedly the ones that are running around doing cow tipping, where you get down and you just put your elbow into it, you scare the cow, and it tips over. So that is really just a stereotype that's based on country people, hicks, rednecks, whatever you want to call them. It was listed that way in the urban legend part that I read. I had no idea that cow tipping was an urban legend. I thought people actually went out in the fields and tried to tip the dang cows. I almost did it once. I had a friend that came up to me in South Dakota. They're like, "Do you want to go cow tipping with us?" I was like, "That's really a thing, huh?" And he's like, "Yeah, we're going to go out there." I was like, "Okay." So we all got in the car, and we're in South Dakota, and we're like, well, where the heck you gonna find a cow at in South Dakota in the middle of winter with all the snow everywhere? And I'm like, and they're like, oh, yeah, okay, so we were drunk. We probably shouldn't have been doing that. But we tried to find a cow, We found this thing that looked like a cow, and we're like, let's try that. And we're like, I don't think that's real. And he's sitting there, drunk off his butt, trying to tip this statue of something. I don't know what it was. But he's like, this thing is way too heavy. This is impossible. I'm like, isn't that a statue? And he's like, oh. It is. I'm like, I think we should go home. It's cold, and we're trying to tip over statues. I think we're cow tipping. Also, there's one that I had on the list, but I decided to take it off. But depending on what time we're at, I'll do these two others. What time are we at?
12:30.
Okay. So we have one where the War of Pearl Harbor. There's a Phantom plane, the P-40 Phantom plane is what it's called. And supposedly it's the last plane that's up in the air based off of the Pearl Harbor thing. Now, I might have read that wrong. It's really late right now. It's about 11 o'clock at night, almost midnight. And, apparently it's still flying in the sky by a Phantom pilot that survived from Pearl Harbor D-Day type thing that went on. And it's just flying around up there, and sometimes it gets spotted on the radar and sometimes it doesn't, and it's just like you're at the watchtower and you're watching the planes and everything, and then all of a sudden bloop, one pops in there, and then you're like, wait, we didn't have that on record as one. And then the pilot's like, I don't see a plane right next to me, and they're like, the Phantom plane appeared again. And it said, I don't remember where it said, but I'll look into it more. And then the last urban legend we have is the wedding dress of death. So this lady went to a thrift store, which I love thrift store shopping. It's fun. And you find some pretty awesome board games and stuff for cheap.
And toys. I like toys. Old toys.
You're a collector. And sometimes you can find these little collectibles. The little cuppy cups that I like to collect. But, so, she went into a thrift store. She bought her wedding dress at the thrift store. On her wedding day, she went to kiss her husband because they had just did the I-do's and went to kiss her. She fell down dead. So, the they had her funeral, they buried her and everything. They never figured out why she died. So the dress went back to the thrift store. Another bride got the dress. She died. Now, after this dress had went through 6 people, I don't remember the time that it actually started, but apparently the reason why they kept dying was because the dress had been used at a funeral and it had formaldehyde chemicals that had soaked into it, and which doesn't make any sense because why would you not wash anything that you got from a thrift store before you wore it?
Yeah.
I mean, if you washed it, you would think all those chemicals from the dead person that wore it and stuff would say that. Now, the legend says it was a dress that had formaldehyde in it that was poisoning the girls when they got really hot in the dress and they were sweating and it was getting into their sweat. Or another legend has it based off of the dress was cursed because the original bride that bought it was being forced to marry a man that she didn't want to marry at all. It was like an arranged marriage, and she had put some poison in the dress or something, and I don't know exactly how the legend goes completely. I'd have to look into it more. But from what I saw on the Urban Legends TV show that they have on, what streaming service was that I watched it on? I don't remember. But, on that one, they had that the dress was poisoned and it was killing all the brides because the husbands wanted money. So it would affect them only after they said I do and then gave a kiss, which is totally redonkulous because poison doesn't work that way.
Yeah, it's not intelligent. It can't hear you.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, I automatically knew so you looking at that urban legend and you're like, okay, this one definitely has to be, at least the poisoning part one has to be fake. The curse part could be real because if you believe in it enough, a curse could happen. The formaldehyde one could be real if they're dirty, scurvy people and don't wash their clothes before they put them on. So, yeah. I don't know. That'd be gross if every time I go to a thrift store and buy clothes, a garage sale, or anything like that, I always wash my clothes before I even wear them.
Why would you even get a wedding dress from a thrift store anyways?
I mean, Goodwill's got some pretty nice dresses at Goodwill right now. And a lot of people that can't afford those David Bridal's dresses are like... It's like... A lot of people spend over, like... Usually the cheapest amount you can do for a wedding, with a fancy dress and everything like brides usually want, is like the cheapest you could get is $10,000.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's like, dude, no, that's insane. $10,000 for a wedding? No, we're not celebrities here. So, but those are the urban legends we have tonight. Webs, can you think of any more, or are we good?
No, I can't think of any more.
Alright.
Not off the top of my head, at least.
If you liked it, give us a like and a share and a comment at the bottom. And if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to hit the subscribe button. And if you are not being notified when we post them new videos, then you must have forgot to hit that little bell that goes ding-a-ling-a-ling. So you might want to hit that little bell so you can get that little ding-a-ling-a-ling. And if you didn't like it, I'm sorry. And also, we are on Twitter, Instagram, and Telegram. I always keep forgetting to say that sometimes in the video. Is that all of them? Facebook, Twitter, Telegram, Instagram. Right?
Yep.
All right. Y'all have a good night. Bye.